Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the Managerial Economics class. In the last class, we have learned about the profit planning and control. What is profit planning? How to plan the profit of the organization? How this profit is determined, keeping in view the various situations, and how the profit control is to be exercised by the business organization. All these things we have learned in the yesterday class. Today, in this class, we try to learn what are the various market structures in any economy, how the businessman or a firm or a management has to plan its strategies and various plans to suit the market conditions or to suit the market structure. After this class, you will be able to know the various structures that are existed, various market structures that are existed in any economy, and what are the important features of each and every market structure, and how the business people has to plan and control its activities accordingly. So let us start the class. What is a market structure? First, let us know what is a market structure. The market structure in economics refers to how different industries are classified and differentiated based on their degree and nature of competition for goods and services. So market structure means the how different industries are classified and differentiated based on their degree of operations and the nature of competition for goods and services. It is based on the characteristics that influence the behavior and outcomes of companies working in a specific market. So the market structure is designed or is determined based on the characteristics or features that influence the behavior and outcome of companies working in a specific market. What are the various market structures? According to some important characteristic features possessed by the markets, the total markets can be categorized into four aspects. Broadly, the market structures can be categorized into four. They are competition. Number two, monopolistic competition. Number three, oligopoly. Number four, monopoly. These are the basic market structures prevailing or working in various economies in the world. In each and every economy or in each and every country, these four types of market structures are evolved, under which various business organizations and firms have to operate. So market structure, these market structures, that's the four categories of market structures, have been determined, based on certain important factors. What are the various factors kept in mind to define or to categorize a particular market as a monopoly or oligopoly or perfect competition, etc.? So some of the factors that determine a market structure includes: number one, the number of buyers and sellers. It is one of the factors which decide whether a particular market is a perfect competition or oligopoly market or monopoly market. The number of buyers and sellers. Who is a buyer? Buyer means it is the consumer. It is the consumer. Consumer is also known as a buyer. And sellers. Sellers means those who sell goods to the customers. How many number of buyers are available in a particular market? How many sellers are available in a particular market? The number of buyers and sellers in a particular market is one of the factors which decide the market structure. This is a first factor considered for categorizing a particular market. Next, the second aspect is ability to negotiate. Ability to negotiate. What is the ability of the seller and buyer to negotiate? That means through negotiation, the price will be determined. That means what is the extent of ability of the traders or sellers, while their ability to negotiate. If they are having more negotiation ability, then that leads to a different market condition. If they do not have negotiation abilities, either among the sellers or among the buyers, it leads to some other category of market structure. So what is the ability to negotiate each other? This is another factor kept in mind while categorizing a particular market as either monopoly or oligopoly. Next, degree of concentration. A degree of concentration means what is the level of concentration of buyers and sellers. If there is a lower degree of concentration, that leads to a certain market structure. If there is a high degree of concentration, then that will lead to another market structure. So the degree of concentration is another factor kept in mind in determining a particular market as either monopoly or perfect competition. And last factor is degree of differentiation of products. Degree of differentiation of products. What is the degree of differentiation of products? Nowadays we are seeing that there is a innovation. Innovation is playing a major role in nowadays market. Why? Because every firm, every company, every producer would like to differentiate its products when compared with the competitor. So what is the degree of differentiation? Whether the firms are able to differentiate their products. So this is another factor kept in mind for determination of market structure. So these are the four important factors that decide the type of market in which the firm is working. And based on the type of market, the company has to plan its activities accordingly. And if it is necessary, modifications are to be done in the various plans and strategies followed by the company so as to withstand the competition in the market. Otherwise, the business cannot survive because it's after all the business is an economic entity, the life of which is ultimately depends upon the level of demand, or the number of customers which are attracted by this particular organization. Whatever the firm may be, whether it is a manufacturing firm or distribution firm or retailer company, whatever it may be, whether they are producing or distributing or selling, irrespective of their nature of business, everybody should change their strategy. Everybody should modify its strategies, keeping in view the market conditions. Otherwise, it cannot survive. Okay? And one more factor is the ease or difficulty of entering and exiting the market. The ease or difficulty. That means, what is the difficulty to enter into a particular market? Or how difficult it is to enter into a particular market? How difficult it is to exit from the market? That means the degree of difficulty to enter into the market and the degree of difficulty to exit from the market is another important factor that plays another important role in determining the market structure. So in this way, these five factors, that is number of buyers and sellers, ability to negotiate, degree of concentration, degree of differentiation of products, and the ease or difficulty of entering and exiting the market These are the factors which decide whether what type of market it is in which we are working. Okay. So now let us understand the market structure. Understanding market structures. In economics, market structures can be understood well by closely examining an array of factors or features exhibited by different players. Now, in the economics, the market structures can be understood well by closely examining each and every firm, each and every company has to closely examine the market structures. An array of factors or features exhibited by different players. So you have to closely examine the market structures through which you are able to analyze what are the various factors or what are the various features exhibited by different players, because in each and every category of industry you find a number of firms operating along with you. Therefore, unless you observe the other people, unless you observe the things done by your competitor, unless you observe the market situation, unless you observe the industry situation, you can't continue your business. You can't plan your activities. You cannot attract the customers. You cannot retain the customers. You cannot throw out the customer sometimes. Sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes you have to throw away the customers because he is an outdated customer. Sometimes it demands, the situation may demand, because if you continuously depends on the existing customers, those who are not coming forward, then you will be no more in the market. So continuously you have to attract the new customers, and sometimes you have to throw out the existing customers if it is necessary. So it is common to differentiate these markets. It is common to differentiate these markets across the following 7 distinct features. Based on these distinct features, you can differentiate various markets. There's one is the industry's buyer structure. Industry's buyer structure. Industry means a group of firms operating, or group of firms that are producing a similar product is known as the industry. For example, the companies which are producing the cement, all firms which are producing the cement come under the cement industry, steel industry. Okay, so like that, the similar companies which produce the same product are grouped together and named as the industry. So what is the industry's buyer structure? Buyer structure you have to observe, and the turnover of customers. What is the turnover of each and every customer? If you are able to understand the turnover of customers, you can plan accordingly, because value oriented customers should not be neglected. because all customers will not buy in the equal proportion or in the same level of demand. It may not be there. There may be some value oriented customers who buy at bulk. There are some customers who buy on small quantity. Therefore, you have to differentiate between the value oriented customer, that means the customer who buy large quantity, and the customer who buy in a small quantity. So the turnover of customers. Number 3, the extent of product differentiation. The extent of product differentiation of various industries or various firms will also play a major role in understanding the market structure. Number 4, the nature of cost of inputs. What is the nature of cost of inputs? We are using various types of inputs for producing a particular product. What is the nature of cost? Whether the cost has been increasing, or cost is declining, or cost is stagnant. How the cost of inputs. Inputs means the material required to produce a particular product. The nature of cost of inputs is also another factor which is useful in understanding the market structure. Next, number 5, the number of players in the market. As I already told you, the number of players. Players means here buyers and sellers. Players means buyers and sellers. How many number of buyers are there in a particular market? How many number of sellers are there in the market? It's also another factor which helps in understanding the market structures. Next, vertical integration, extent in the same industry. So vertical integration, the possibility of vertical integration. Vertical integration means the company which produce all related products vertically. It's known as, that strategy is known as vertical integration. This is one business strategy where the companies, some of the companies will produce all related products. All related products. That means one product produced by one firm is used as an input for another industry. So that's vertical integration, extent in the same industry. So next, number 7, the largest players market share. How many number of largest players are there in a particular industry? What was the share? What was the market share of largest players? In each and every industry, there may be some largest players. That means some big companies may be operating. What is their market share? That is another factor which is useful in understanding the market structures. Therefore, based on these 7 aspects, you can understand the market structures. And now let us see what are the important features of various market structures. The first one is perfect competition. So perfect competition occurs when there is a large number of small companies competing against each other. This is an important feature of perfect competition. In the perfect competition, there is a large number of small companies competing against each other. There is a large number of small companies. All these small companies compete each other. That's why it is known as perfect competition. That means here in the perfect competitive market structure condition, no company will be able to influence the market, because there are several companies, several small companies that are playing or competing or working in the market. That therefore, no single firm, no single company will have complete control over market. Everybody has their own significance. They sell similar products. They sell similar products. That's a homogeneous products. Lack of price influence over the commodities they produce, or they sell similar products. There may not be any major product differentiation. All the firms will sell similar products which are used to fulfill a common need of the customer. They lack price influence over the commodities because there are number of small companies working in the industry or in the market. Therefore, no company will influence the price. No company will influence the price, because ultimately in the perfect competition market, the seller is able to sell his product at the price where the average price is equal to average cost. So lack of price influence over the commodities is another feature of the perfect competition, and are free to enter or exit the market. In the perfect competition, firms can freely enter. Nobody will influence not to enter the market, because there are number of companies. Therefore, anybody, any new entrants, any new firm can enter into the market freely without any restrictions. And anybody can exit from the market. Anybody can exit from the market. He can enter freely without any restrictions. Nobody will object you. You just enter into the market, you can sell your products, or you can produce your products and sell your products. And if it is not possible, if it is not profitable, if you do not want to continue, then you can freely exit from the market. No influence. You can freely enter and exit the market. Okay. Next, consumers in this type of market have full knowledge of the goods being sold. So in the perfect competition market, the consumers will have complete knowledge. They have complete knowledge of goods and services sold in this particular perfect competition. They are aware of the prices charged on them and the product branding. The customers or consumers, they are always aware of the price charged by each and every seller. They know the price charged by each and every manufacturer of the seller, because they have complete knowledge of market. And the product branding, because consumer is having full knowledge over product branding. Okay. Next, in the real world, the pure form of this type of market structure rarely exists. So generally, in reality, this perfect competition market is not existed, because this type of perfect competition was there in golden days, but nowadays it is not. In reality, it is not existed now. However, it is useful when comparing companies with similar features. But sometimes the companies can use this particular information to compare with the similar features. This market is unrealistic as it faces some significant criticisms described below. So this perfect competition market explained by the economists has been criticized in the following manner. What are the criticisms? Number one is no incentive for innovation. In the real world, if competition exists and a company holds a dominant market share, there is a tendency to increase innovation to beat the competitors and maintain the status quo. However, in a perfectly competitive market, the profit margin is fixed and sellers cannot increase prices or they will lose their customers. సో మనకు పర్ఫెక్ట్ కాంపిటీషన్ మార్కెట్ అనేది రియల్గా ఎగ్జిస్టెన్స్లో ఉండదు. You will not find the perfect competition market situation in the real world, because in the perfect competition situation, the seller's profit margin is fixed and he cannot increase its price. Therefore, they cannot innovate the products. They cannot introduce innovations in their product or marketing strategies. That's why the perfect competition market may not be exist. Like the second criticism against the perfect competition is there are very few barriers to entry. As we already know, there are no barriers for entry and exist. Any company can enter the market and start selling the product. Therefore, incumbents must stay proactive to maintain market share. So the perfect competition market is a free market where everybody is having freedom to enter and exist. Therefore, those who want to continue in the perfect market condition, they should be proactive, because if they neglect, the market share will be taken over by the competitor. So these are the two criticisms levied against the perfect competition market. Then the second market condition, market structure is monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition. So monopolistic competition refers to an imperfectly competitive market with the traits of both the monopoly and the competitive market. Sellers compete among themselves and can differentiate their goods in terms of quality and branding to look different. In this type of competition, sellers consider the price charged by their competitors and ignore the impact of their own prices on their competition. Okay, so the monopolistic competition refers to imperfectly competitive market. It's imperfectly competitive market. That means only few companies will compete each other. It is not perfect competition and it is not monopoly. It is in between these two. So with the traits of both monopoly and competitive markets, the monopolistic competition will have the features of perfect competition as well as monopoly. Both features is clubbed together, you will find this monopolistic competition. In a monopolistic competition, sellers compete among themselves and differentiate their goods in terms of quality and branding to look differently. So, in a monopolistic competition, the firms will try to differentiate their goods in terms of quality and price and branding to attract more and more customers or to enhance their market share so that they can withstand in the market. So in this type of competition, sellers consider the price charged by their competitors and ignore the impact of their own prices on their competition. When comparing monopolistic competition in the short run and the long run, there are two distinct aspects that are observed. If you see the monopolistic competition in short run and long run, there are two important differences you will see in both in short term and long term. In the short run, the monopolistic competition maximizes its profits and enjoys all the benefits of a monopoly. So in the short run, the monopolistic company will enjoy its profits in the short run. In the short run, the companies will enjoy the more profits in the short run. But the company initially produces many products as the demand is high. The initial days of its business, every company will produce many products as there is a high demand for its products. Therefore, its marginal revenue correspond to its marginal cost. However, marginal revenue diminishes over time as new companies enter the market with differentiated products affecting demand, leading to less profits. Therefore, in the short run, the monopolistic companies will get more and more profits, and in the long run, their marginal revenue will decline because in the long run, new companies will enter into the market. Therefore, their marginal revenue will decline and the marginal cost, the difference between marginal revenue and marginal cost will be lowered. Therefore, in the long run, they could not get more profits. They may get the reasonable profits in the long run. So this is the monopolistic competition. Next, the third one is oligopoly. Oligopoly market structure. What is oligopoly market structure? An oligopoly market consists of a small number of large companies that sell differentiated or identical products. In the oligopoly, there are small number of large companies. There are small number of large companies that sell either differentiated products or identical products. So oligopoly market situation or market structure is one in which a small number of large companies, that means big size companies, the big size companies will be operated, and these companies will sell their products by differentiating their products or the selling identical products. Since there are few players in the market, their competitive strategies are dependent on each other. In the oligopoly, you find a small number of large companies. Therefore, Their competitive strategies are depends on each other. In this oligopoly market, what the competitor is doing, how they are producing the product, how they are differentiating the product, how they are charging the prices, how they are attracting the customers, all these things will play a major role in oligopoly. For example, if one of the actors decides to reduce the price of its products, the action will trigger other actors to lower their prices too. So in the oligopoly, there is for every action there will be an equal opposite reaction in the oligopoly situation. Because if one company wants to reduce its price of its product, then automatically the other fellow will also reduce his price. Because unless he reduces the price, he cannot attract the customers. On the other hand, a price increase may influence the others not to take any action. In the anticipation, consumer will opt for their products. Therefore, strategic planning by these type of players is a must. Therefore, oligopoly market situation, each and every company will always see what the others are doing, what the competitors are doing. In a situation where companies mutually compete, they may create agreements to share the market by restricting production, leading to supernormal profits. So in the oligopoly market situation, you find a small number of large companies. Therefore, sometimes these small number of companies will come to an agreement regarding the price and the strategies and the different things to be maintained so as to be safe in the market situation. This holds if either party honors the Nash equilibrium state and neither is tempted to engage in the prisoner's dilemma. Therefore, in the oligopoly market situation, nobody would like to lose their market share. Therefore, these people will come to an agreement or they work together to protect their market shares. In such an agreement, they work like monopolies. The collusion is referred as a cartels. So sometimes they collude each other. They collude each other so as to stay or so as to protect their market shares. Okay. So this is all about the oligopoly. Next, number 4, monopoly. This is the last type of market structure which we see in the economy. In a monopoly market, a single company represents the whole industry. The monopoly market structure means the monopoly market is a market where a single company represents the whole industry. That means in the total industry, you find only a single company that is producing or selling that particular goods. No other player, no competitor, no substitute is available in the market. It has no competitors and it is the sole seller of products in the entire market. It is the sole seller. No competition, no alternative products, no substitution. So this type of market is characterized by factors such as the sole claim to ownership of resources, patents and copyrights, licenses issued by the government, or high initial setup costs. So these are some of the important features of this monopoly market situation. That is a sole claim to ownership of resources. Whatever the resources that are available in the economy, the whole and sole ownership rights are vested with a single company. The patents and the copyrights on everything, the big company is having its copyrights and ownership copyrights. licenses issued by the company. All the licenses will be issued to that particular company only. High initial setup cost. If anybody want to set up a new company, a large amount of money or large amount of capital is to be required. So therefore, nobody will, new entrants will participate in this particular type of monopoly. So all the above characteristics associated with monopoly restrict other companies from entering the market. So all these factors make the other peoples to terrify. They fear to enter into the market because of these various factors. Therefore, the other companies may not enter into the market. Therefore, a single company may dominate the total industry. The company, therefore, remains a single seller because it has the power to control the market and set prices for its goods. So, therefore, nobody would like to, or nobody is dare enough to enter into the market. Therefore, a single company will dominate the market and the industry, and it control the total economy or total industry. And whatever the price fixed by that particular company is the final, whatever the product produced by that particular company is the final, whatever the strategy maintained by that particular company is the final. Therefore, no new entrants will take place. So these are the things, important aspects relating to the market structure, various market structures that are available in any economy. I think you might have understood the concept of market structure and various types of market structures. Thank you for joining with us, and I hope all of you have enjoyed this lecture, and I request you to learn more and more by visiting various websites. And I have been recording this lecture, and this video lecture will be posted in the YouTube, and I will send to you the video link by evening or tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much. You can post your number in the chat box and you can exit from the meeting. Thank you.